There's a girl running down the street being like her stepfather is killing everyone in her face.
We've been told
You show me your hands now! Stand up and walk towards us! Stand up now! Walk towards us! Stand up with your hands up!
Of his 3 young sons.
And my goal is to have this man executed for slaughtering.
Local community gathering, celebrating the lives of Clayton, Hunter, and Chase. These 3 little boys, brothers, ages 7, 4, and 3, shot and killed nearly 2 weeks ago at their home in Claremont County.
As community members pay their respects, they say their goal is to remember the boys for the love, laughter, and joy they brought to them.
What you just heard was the chilling 911 call that marked the beginning of this horrific event. So, what really happened that day? On that fateful day, he had returned home early from work. It all began on June 15, 2023 in Monroe Township, Ohio, when a small, quiet community was shaken to its core. 32-year-old Chad Duerman worked hard to provide for his family. He lived with his wife, Laura, their 3 young sons, Clayton, age 7, Hunter, age 4, and Chase, age 3, and Chad's stepdaughter, 16-year-old Alexis. They seem like your typical American family, nothing out of the ordinary.
What was happening?
I asked her to get in the car with me, and she said she couldn't leave her family, but I think she ran to the.
He asked his wife along with their 3 sons to join him for a nap in the primary bedroom. It was unusual, but not entirely out of the ordinary. So his request was seemingly innocent, or so it seemed. Without warning, Duerman opened his gun safe and retrieved a Marlin Model 7HC 22 gauge rifle, shooting Hunter twice, killing him instantly. In a state of shock and horror, his wife tried to help her fallen son while desperately urging Clayton and Chase to run.
So I drove down the road a little bit, so I was afraid that I was going to get shot myself.
The stepdaughter, who had been watching TV, ran into the chaos and witnessed the first shots. She grabbed Clayton and instinctively ran for their lives. The 2 ran towards a nearby field, and Duerman in pursuit. Chad chased Clayton, shooting him from behind before delivering a fatal point-blank shot to his head.
I'm standing outside where I can see the lady.
Okay.
I'm across the street at Lindale Automotive.
Can you tell how many people have been shot?
I think.
As if pre-planned, he then carried Clayton's lifeless body back to the yard, followed by Hunter's body, and laid both brothers next to each other with care. Amidst the chaos, the stepdaughter managed to escape and re-enter the house to grab Chase in a desperate bid to save her little brother, running to the road with him in her arms.
Show us your fucking hands now! Stand up! Stand up! Stand up! Stand up!
Duerman followed, aimed the rifle at her, demanding she put Chase down. In a stroke of fate, the rifle was out of bullets. Chase ran to his mother, who was now outside trying to aid Clayton. A little hiccup wasn't going to stop this man from executing his plan to fruition.
Stand the fuck up!
EMS is staged and air carriers are going to go ahead and fly whenever any units can advise.
Get your hands out of here.
By now, Alexis had managed to find a passerby and frantically informed them about the horrific events before running to the nearby Monroe Township Fire Department for help.
Can I roll over? I ain't gonna hurt you. I ain't gonna hurt nobody.
You got anything on you?
No, I ain't got nothing, man. Phone, that's it. I ain't mad, I ain't nothing. Just make sure that dog don't come out. I don't think he'll bite you. Just don't reach for him and try to grab him and pet him.
All right.
He won't bite you.
What's going on, man?
Nothing. Can I stand up? It's kind of uncomfortable.
I'm gonna get you here in a
I ain't
second.
running away. You can do whatever you want with me.
Back at the scene of the crime, in desperate attempts to save her remaining son, Laura wrestled with him for Chase. Chad bit her when she grabbed the rifle and placed her thumb over the barrel. With absolutely no remorse, he shot her thumb clean off, obviously causing her to drop Chase.
Can you get the wallet out of my back pocket?
Shut up, dude. You had the right to remain silent and fucking use it.
Yes, sir.
Take the call. I'm on the box right now. I'm almost there. Yeah, 9 is where Jude and Captain's were.
Despite Laura's efforts to fight back and ending up injured in the fight to save Chase from his father's wrath, it was already too late. This monster's rampage was nowhere near over, with Chase now in his grasp. In a fatal, final, brutal act, Doberman shot him in the head, point blank, just like his brothers. He then placed Chase's body next to his brother's and sat on the side stoop.
Every day they woke up looking to her for protection, love, guidance in all things. Man, they trust more than any other person on earth. The person they rely upon to keep them safe from harm. He was their world. He was their guardian. He executed them cold-blooded.
When officers arrived at 4:25 p.m., they instructed Doberman to show his hands and walk towards them. He remained sitting, showing no signs of resistance. While Doberman sat on the stoop coldly, watching the police approaching, Laura screamed for someone to help her children and attempted to resuscitate them, to no avail. It was already too late for her 3 little boys.
Don't be doing that, man.
The officers approached and took him into custody at 4:27 p.m., ending a horrific chapter that no one in Monroe Township would ever forget. As the community still mourned, the wheels of justice began to turn.
Looks like count 1, aggravated murder. This is on or about June 15, 2023. The County of Claremont did knowingly, purposely, with prior calculation, design, cause of death, in violation of Ohio Revised Code 290301, aggravated murder, unclassified felony.
Chad Doberman was charged with 9 counts of aggravated murder, 1 for each gunshot that struck his sons. Any normal individual would have reacted in one way or another at this point, but not Doberman. He maintained his poker face while he continued to listen to the officers list off his counts.
Count 6. Chad C. Dorman on or about June 15, 2023, County of Claremont, did purposely cause the death of while committing or attempting to commit or fleeing immediately after committing or attempting to commit the offense of kidnapping violation of 290321.
During the initial convictions, Doberman quietly sat listening to all the counts he was being charged for. It was almost as if you could see cogs turning in his head, reliving all the heinous acts that led him to this very point. No remorse or guilt to be seen, just a blank stare.
Count 15 is also kidnapping. The grand jury finds that Chad C. Dorman on or about June 15, 2023 in Claremont County did by force, threat, or deception remove from the place where he was found or restrained liberty of him with the purpose of facilitating the commission of a felony, to wit, aggravated murder or flight thereof in violation of Ohio Revised Code 290501A2, kidnapping is a felony of the first degree of the firearms.
If a man can slaughter his own children in cold blood and leave his wife injured and stepdaughter psychologically scarred, there's not much in terms of emotion that could be expected from him.
Count 20, felonious assault. On or about June 15, 2023 in the County of Claremont, did knowingly cause or attempt to physical harm to their initials by means of deadly weapons or dangerous ordinance, to wit, firearm in violation of Ohio Revised Code 290311, felonious assault, felony of the 2nd degree, firearm specification. Count 21, felonious assault. Grand jury further finds that Chad C. Dorman on or about June 15, 2023 in the County of Claremont did knowingly cause serious physical harm to their initials in violation of Ohio Revised Code 290311, felonious assault, felony of the 2nd degree, also the firearm specification, signed by the grand jury panel.
On June 16th, Doberman made his first court appearance, feigning grief, even though the gravity of his actions was clear. But the question remained, why would a father commit such a horrific act? He admitted that he had been planning to shoot his son since October 2022. This chilling confession added another layer of horror to the already tragic events.
By law enforcement, Judge Richard Ferenc says detectives in Ohio violated Doberman's rights in 2 ways. First, the judge said detectives did not properly advise Doberman of...
Since then, Judge Richard Ferenc had ruled for the confession to be thrown out due to improper interrogation. On June 23rd, at his arraignment, Chad Doorman pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity. This plea set the stage for a complex and emotionally charged legal battle. Prosecutor Mark Takuve announced that he would seek the death penalty, determined to see justice served for the innocent lives lost.
And I know, Mr. Myers, we've discussed circumstances regarding the time waiver, and it's my understanding that you reviewed with Mr. Dorman the fact that the trial is going to be continued, that this hearing is going to be held, and obviously the court will need time to do its due diligence to review the matters once the evidentiary hearing has been completed. But nevertheless, you've indicated to me he's willing to waive time at least until January 31st of next year in order to address a new trial date if it can't be addressed prior to that. Is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor. This is the time. I do have here in hand the proposed entry to that effect with Mr. Dorman's signature and my own.
I'm going to ask for a bond of $20 million. I hope I never need to request it.
The trial was initially set to begin in July 2024. However, as often happens in such cases, delays occur, and a new trial date has yet to be set. As of May 2024, Chad has waived his right to a speedy trial, which will cancel his upcoming July trial for the murders of his 3 sons. Doorman is facing a $20 million bond and a death penalty.
Incomprehensible cruelty. The father that stands before you lined up his 3 young boys, and he executed them in his own home with a rifle. They were ages 3, 4, and 7, Judge. In an act of desperation to save her children, the mother, at some point...
We will never forget them. And that's the word that I would use to describe them, is just unforgettable.
In the wake of this tragedy, the community rallied together. A crisis team was stationed at the elementary school attended by the stepdaughter and one of the sons. The school, still reeling from a previous murder-suicide earlier that year, was once again plunged into mourning.
Just to be able to come here and support the family, but show and be respectful to who the boys were by being fun, by wearing fun colors.
These boys were wonderful kids that everyone loved. We want to celebrate who these boys were because what happened to them is not who are unforgettable kids. And there's nothing that's ever going to take away the memories that we have of them. There's nothing that's ever going to take away the time that we got to spend with them. I cherish every single moment that I was with.
A GoFundMe campaign was set up to help cover the funeral costs for the children, and the outpouring of support from the community was overwhelming. Vigils and memorials were held as friends, neighbors, and strangers alike came together to grieve and support the surviving family members. The loss was profound, and the healing process would be long and difficult.
As you can look around, we're close to 1,000 people. Bikes, jeeps, cars, side-by-sides. It's the fastest way for a group of people.
It was really just a horrifying, sad situation, and so we just wanted to do what we could to provide some help for the rest of the family.
This story, I can't imagine what the mother's going through right now, and so I just feel like any burden we can take off her shoulders, you know, it's worth it. It's well worth it.
Remember the kids and the time they were here and everything that was good about them, and hopefully we don't have to see this again.